Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with my amazing friend Jonathan to talk about Claim to Fame, Season 2, Episode 7. Absolutely shredded is Jonathan. Are you absolutely shredded? I know you've been working out a lot.
I wish, not even close. I will never be, but there's always the goal to try to attain. Yeah, I'm excited about this episode as always, because I never know the ending. So, but it was good.
Yeah, I obviously don't know the ending either. Thank you, Kathy, for being here. Also holding down the fort here that we do not know who is going to be eliminated. We do not know. Well, I may know who the guesser chooses to guess. I may have seen that when I was trying to cue things up, but I don't 100% know because, anyways, I don't 100% know. So let's just keep it a little bit so that we can, watch it all together like usual. We're going to be surprised. Are we going to be surprised? Do you think we're going to be surprised this episode? What do you think?
I don't. I anticipate I know where it's going, but yeah. So, I mean, the commercial was pretty early where I stopped. So I didn't see much of how far they get into the thing. But I think I know what's going to happen. I mean, I kind of hope I do. Yeah.
Hi, Glenda. Thanks for being here.
Hello.
Dolores is here. Hi, Ryan. Thanks for joining us.
So many familiar faces.
Say again?
I said so many familiar faces. So nice to see.
I know. It just makes me my heart was so warm. What do you think about Chris and Gabriel's little, they kind of have a frenemy relationship, in my opinion. It's like they tell each other things, but they're kind of holding each other apart, but they're each other's closest allies. But how do you feel about these two?
I like it. Although I feel like what is Chris adding? You know what I mean? Yes, Chris knows pretty much everyone's clue and information, but I don't feel like he's been able to figure out a lot of it. Oh my gosh. And this episode with the dream coat, I mean, they're all so young. It's it's so funny, but no, I love their relationship together. And yeah, I mean, it's this kind of sneaky little thing that, I think is probably beneficial to both in some capacity, but I don't know. I feel like Gabriel is helping Chris out more than Chris is necessarily helping Gabriel out.
Hi, Joseph. Yes, we were able to find some time to get together because we love this show so much. There's no way I would want to miss an episode of recapping the show because it's just a great old time. And I'm not doing Big Brother recaps on my channel. So this is my Big Brother fix, I would say. Hi, Adrian. So once again, a great episode, but damn, it's embarrassing to see these people's speculation. Yeah. Well, it starts off though with Gabriel basically saying to Chris, JR's relative is Lil Nog's ex. They talk about the panini. They talk about them working together. They talk about the horse clue. They talk about cowboy boots. So they pretty much seemingly have pieced together JR's clue. Do you think there's any other direction for them to go?
No, to me, that's hands down who it is. And I think they got it. I don't know how sure Chris is of it. But I think that Gabriel thinks that he's right. And I agree with him. I think he's 100% right.
Oh, just to piggyback on what you were saying about Chris before, is that Chris has been a strong player from the very beginning. And yes, he has all the clues and information, but why is he so bad at guessing people?
He just, I feel like he just doesn't, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know anything about Mormons culture, any of that. And so,
okay,
and I know their family is. I don't know if he directly is as well. But if they're removed from I know obviously the family is very entertainment industry, but maybe he's removed from that and more coming from a smaller town, or I don't know where he lives. I don't know, but he just doesn't seem to know anything about pop culture. I would understand if it's okay, he knew a lot of sports, but he doesn't, or if he knows a lot of singers, but he doesn't. He just doesn't seem to know people. So having the clues is fine. And it's a great way to trade off information for here, I'll show you this, but he needs a lot of help with all of it.
He needs a lot of help. Glenda says that yes, Chris knows absolutely nothing about pop culture. Like, what does he watch / listen to? Maybe his family's music only.
Well,
All he's allowed to listen
if
to.
well, the thing is, like, so my secret person that we're guessing, what they do is complete opposite of what I do, and we're in two different industries, and I wouldn't know anything to do with their profession, whereas, and I'm sure that they don't know anything to do with mine. So you can be, in two different worlds, even a close family member. So yeah, it's a little shocking how little they know, but yeah.
Joseph is wondering if Chris is playing stupid to get the heat off of him. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think he is either. I just think he's like, not in touch with all of that information.
So we next hear Carson telling Monet a story about since they all know that her relative is a race car driver, and talks about like how I didn't really listen to the full story properly, but like it seems as though the car went into other cars and created a big crash, and everybody was looking at his per person. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I kind of missed it too. I think she said that like there's a big crash in front of them, and then maybe her relative like kind of went through it unscathed or missed it somehow or something. It was kind of like rushed, I think, how they jumped into that story. So I didn't fully catch all of it either. But I think that she's, obviously she can't hide that it's a race car driver, but I would try to at the very least. And maybe she is trying to hide it by playing into it and saying, no, it definitely is, right? But because I mean, there's not that many that are popular. So they already guessed one, you know what I mean? And it wasn't. So now it really is like, probably just the other one.
But maybe there's more though that we just don't like, because like, okay, on the Bachelorette, this guy Ari Lionheart Jr., I think, I can't remember how to say his last name, but like he's a race car driver and he's a junior, and his father was also a race car driver. So not that there could be him.
Yeah, but I mean, they would like never. I don't know. They would never. Wasn't there books last year where they could like look up information in that room?
I don't remember.
I thought there was like where they could like, look up stuff.
Oh, Kathy was saying her relative caused the crash, was the only one to drive away. Okay, got it. I
feel like I've seen stuff like that on the few times that it's accidentally on my TV. Like, a clip or something of it where like one causes the crash, but they get off, and then the other's like, it's like, people in like races or just on bikes, even like someone causes it, but everyone behind them falls.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen race car driving on television, but I think I've heard it, like the sound of it, because in Montreal, there's always Formula One. Like I think it's the first weekend in June. And so like Grand Prix weekend was like, it's a big money making weekend in Montreal. And so a lot of people go to the races, but like I've been near the races and just can hear like the like around. That's it. So I've never actually seen it. I guess you've never been to a racetrack either.
No, I used to do a lot of go-karting. We had a go-kart in my youth, but I've never been to a racetrack unless it's horse racing. I've been there.
Oh, that I've not either.
Have you not? There's two very close ones to us that
I know.
A lot of fun.
I mean, I wanted like wear a big hat and bag.
Yeah. And then you order food and you sit outside, and you can even be at a table and you just go up to these machines and you could just bet like $5 or something.
Is this what I'm doing for my birthday, or your birthday is closer?
It's fun. You just sit outside and like, yeah, they share the horses between two major like Woodbine or like the other one. So yeah, it's like half an hour tops. It's close.
Let's do it. I'm in. Okay. So Carson, of course, is really curious about Chris's clues. And it's just so funny. I don't know if you've seen on the internet, like on Facebook and stuff like that, a lot of people being like asking their moms who is Chris's celebrity relative. And like 99% of the moms are like, oh, it must be one of the Osmond kids. It must be one of the Osmond kids. Almost every single mom. So the fact that Carson just like, I don't know this clue. Like, I can't figure it out. It's just kind of hilarious because like every single mom. No, did you ask your mom?
Did I ask my no? I mean, I no, I know who it is anyway, and I feel like everyone in my family would know who that is. But it's just, I want to see next year them have some like moms and dads on. You know what I mean? And it would add a different dynamic because you might
Oh,
want to
because like their kids are the ones that are
are
famous.
famous, yeah. But you might want to get rid of someone because they might know your person if it's an older generation. You know what I mean? So it might just cause a different mix, or you might want to keep someone because they have that wealth of knowledge. So yeah, I just want to see more different ages, you know.
I mean, I would love to see Claim to Fame stage mom edition. Like that's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. Jonathan, you're casting a new show. Let's do it. Monet thinks that Chris needs to go out by guessing wrong. So they all think because Chris has so much information that the only way that he is going to lose is if he actually guesses wrong. But they're not actually like leading him astray. Like that's going to be very difficult for him to guess wrong. I don't think that they realize how much he doesn't know who their celebrities are, but like I would assume that he knew each person's celebrity. You know what I mean? So how is he going to guess wrong?
Yeah, exactly. I would also assume that if I figured, well, he has everyone's clues, so I don't know.
Okay, and then out of nowhere, I think Monet is like secretly sabotaging everybody that she's playing the game with because she comes up with Billy Idol as now this must be Chris's celebrity relative. Can you make Billy Idol make sense for me?
Well, I thought no, but I also thought like I don't know Billy Idol that well, so I'm like coat, because I think she was connecting it with the coat, and I was like, does Billy Idol have some sort of like magical coat? I don't like Technicolor dream coat, like
Billy Idol's blonde, right? Like bleach blonde hair, correct? Like kind of spiky.
I don't know if currently, but like like back in the day. But yeah, I was like, where are they getting this whole idea? Does he have like an iconic like leather, maybe spiky or something coat that he wore that they're going off on? But how do you know that and not know?
I wouldn't even remember his, like, I think I know who he is.
Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
I don't know if his name would come up so is it just because, did they have idols on his, like Teen Idol, right? So doll. So maybe the Billy Idols, yeah, she did say it was, maybe it was literal.
Yeah, like really obvious, yeah.
Well, so Adrian, what I'm saying is that like, she throws out these, it seems like she's always involved with throwing out the suspicion on somebody and they're so sure. So she did it with she was encouraging Jane with guessing Elvis Presley, like, oh my god, yes, that's it. Then she was mad at Cole for not guessing what's his name, Jeff Carson's person last week.
Jeff Gordon.
I was gonna say Goldblum. I'm like, no. And then this week now she's throwing out Billy Idol, and so I'm just wondering if she just really doesn't know, or if she is potentially throwing out things that people can latch onto to get them to guess them. I don't know. I mean, that could be a really good gameplay.
She could be. I just genuinely think that these people don't know.
Adrian says that I think Monet is just speculating and being so confident like other people with the guesses. Yes, he has blonde hair and he is also British like Elton John. You mean Elton John's not from Utah?
Oh, God. Don't get started. Oh, my God. Could Elton John be from Utah? I'm like, what world? Because here, it doesn't matter. I feel like it doesn't matter your age because I definitely know. Listen, am I anywhere close to the Elton John era? Like, no. Elton John did, Candle in the Wind for the funeral. Like Elton John's is as big now as he was when I was a kid, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So
he did just buy a house in Toronto.
And I've always known Elton John. So I just don't understand people who have relatives in the entertainment or sports industry who just don't know anything about him. Like, don't know that, you know what, maybe he's actually British, or like, like they just have no idea. They don't even know it's like Sir Elton John, like nothing. Like you would have heard about anyway, I can't.
It's the amount of like lack of knowledge is just, I agree, it's flabbergasting because I'm like, even if I didn't know who Elton John was, I would know that he wasn't from Utah. You know what I mean? Even if I had to guess,
Yeah,
I would be like,
yeah.
not Utah.
Because have they ever seen Elton John? Like, you know what I mean? Like he definitely doesn't look like he's from Utah. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And like, even recently they had like that movie about like Rocket Man about his life. Not that they'd had to see it, but just having a little glimpse of his life, you'd know that he was not from Utah. If you just saw a preview.
Yeah,
Just one.
Exactly. It's funny.
So
It's
Chris
funny.
and say again?
I said it's just so funny. All their speculation is so funny.
Yeah, and Laura says I think she convinced herself that Elton John's from Utah. I mean, she must never have been to Utah. She clearly did not see the Elton John movie. Clearly. So Chris and Carson are chatting, and Chris is still playing the game. So even though he has like a good relationship with Gabriel, he is considering telling her, like sharing with her Gabriel's clue. So they make a deal that whoever gets the clue will share it with the other person. Do you think that he should live up to this?
Yeah. Why not? I think it's like, I think they're in a good position right now, and just trying to better it, and keeping honest. The last thing you want, like nearing the end like this, is just to get messy with stuff. So, sure.
So we have our challenge. And so this challenge is going to be in teams, in pairs. And they're going to be rearranging shredded clues. And every time they solve it, they're able to look at the dossier on the back of these clues briefly. And the first duo to solve the 4 different picture clues will win, I guess, Gabriel's clue, because Gabriel is the only clue that has not been revealed to somebody in the game. What do you think of this challenge?
I really liked it, but I thought it was really revealing as well. I was like, wow.
It's like,
That's a
I would
ton
just
of
write
information.
everything out.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Do they just think that they're not smart enough to figure it out without like them being told exactly who they are?
Maybe I'm like, or maybe they just think it's far enough in the game that they're like, hey, you know what? Basically, all the clues have been gotten or almost gotten, and let's just put all the information out there. And so it's more of a social element in this than anything else, and strategizing with who you're going to get to do what. But the reality of it is, even with all this information, like we saw, they still have no idea on some people. So
Zero idea. So Gabriel does receive an advantage from winning the previous challenge, and there's not going to be any immunity going to be moving forward in the season. So Gabriel does get to pick the team. So he chooses Chris, and Monet is very upset that Gabriel didn't choose her. Do you think that this was a smart move on Gabriel's part?
Yeah, I think you can, like, even if you needed to burn Monet, I think you're getting more from Chris than you are Monet. So but also I think you mend that relationship if needed. But yeah, I think it's in his best interest to try to win it. And if his clue is going to be revealed to anyone, it go to Chris.
Right. So Carson and JR are paired together because apparently they're both they're strong-minded and vocal. I haven't really seen that from JR, that he's like loud.
Yeah, he's very
opinionated.
Yeah,
he's so mild-mannered from what I've seen anyways.
Yeah.
It seems that he doesn't have a boot on anymore.
I mean, it was a sprain only, so like I was waiting for it to come off.
And then Monet is now going to be with Hugo. So, what information? So, I will just basically talk about the information that we saw. With basically they had to like take the shredded pieces and make pictures. So the puzzle was the pictures of the other people in the game. We've seen this type of puzzle in pretty much every competitive reality show that we watch. Pretty easy peasy. But there was a lot of information that was revealed on the back. So what did we learn?
Well, when people were looking at Chris's, we definitely saw
amazing colored dream coat.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, they've just given it away. I'm like, Chris is going home. They've just given it away.
Utah.
I was like, they've given it away. He's going home. Like, and it's funny how they like just grasp some of it. They're like, oh yeah, it was a colorful like they're like changing some of the words. I'm like, no, that's where you need to be really specific. It's like technical. And then let's skip ahead for a second. But then Gabriel's like in the Bible, like
I know. And Joseph, I was like, oh, when he said that, and then they're like, oh, no.
Yeah. But so we got that. We got the, Lil Nas X, with the LGBTQ plus.
Yeah,
whatever.
Adrian's like, yes, it was very revealing for some. However, the cost, the clue, LGBT clue, some people still couldn't connect dots. Yeah, I mean, maybe they just didn't show it, but like saying the first LGBT person to blah 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 blah, like,
yeah.
What else did we? For Carson's clue, they said known friends or something. Known
associates
was Danica. So some people were thinking that Danica was her relative. So I guess we can rule out that it's not Danica.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, at this point too, I didn't even like freeze or watch it again because
Me neither.
I know who everyone's person is, so it's just like okay.
Sorry, Glenda here is saying, I must admit I wouldn't know the Osmonds either.
Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
I mean, I've seen the show.
I haven't seen it, but in grade 6, I did sit next to someone who went and saw it and was raving about it. But also I've seen ads and I've seen,
Well, we have a friend, Jojo, and like I always sing it to him. Joseph, do you know what they say? Shalala Joseph, you'll make it someday. Shalala Joseph, you're doing fine. You and your dreams are ahead of your time. And like I'm always singing Joseph songs to Joseph.
What year would that have been? I don't know. 90s. I would have been grade 6 in the 90s. So in the 90s, it was all over TV too. Like specifically with Donnie, like all over everywhere.
I absolutely, like I saw Donnie Osmond downtown Toronto when I was like, how old was I? Maybe 12?
Yeah.
Maybe 13. Anyways, it's just shocking to me. Also, I guess like my dad does live in Vegas, so I've probably seen their faces around Vegas forever. They have been on reality shows recently. Like what else has Donnie been on recently? They've been on something, no?
Well, they've done The Masked Singer.
Right.
I feel like between the two of them. And they also like guest co-host sometimes on things like The View or The Talk or stuff like that, where someone's away that day. They've done both of that. But they're just everywhere. They performed at some award show recently. I saw a clip from, but yeah, it's it's like even if you have never heard of the Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, it's just still, I feel like someone would have, you know what I mean? Like if you somehow missed that, there's a blind spot for you. I just don't know how like the group as a whole can't get that.
Man.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars. They've both been on Dancing with the Stars. Marie famously fainted on Dancing with the Stars. Yeah.
Right. I remember that now that you've said that. Anyways, I didn't know that they were that obscure of a family. I've heard of them for so long.
Yeah.
But I guess it's because my mom was impacted by them. Like she knew the Osmonds, like it was her time. So like she told me about them. And so like I knew about the Osmonds growing up a little bit more, I guess. So Chris and Gabriel do win this challenge. That means that Chris has all the clues now, or he will have all the clues. And they are going to be choosing the two people that are going into the bottom two for the guess off. How do you like this new twist?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I know that Chris talks about putting himself in, and I don't know if I saw... Wait, I have to think about it again. But I'm like, I don't know if I saw the point of it. Even as I was trying to like kind of play it out, I'm like, in what scenario would that really matter? I guess it's either like because they put on you and you have someone that you were positive about.
Well,
or don't, and then you're forcing it to be the other person, which you've also put in the bottom. And if you think you know where they're guessing, then I guess it eliminates two people, and someone could be a wild card. But still, I don't think I would have done that. But yeah.
Well, Gabriel is saying that wants to put in, like, for his pick to be Hugo to go in for the guess off. Hugo also kind of wants to go in because he has a few choices of people that he can guess. And this is where Chris wants to put himself into the guess off to avoid anybody. I think it's to scare people from choosing him to guess because they don't know whose clue he would decide to go with since he has it all. So I think him being in there, it forces Hugo to be the one that they have to choose. And then they can just potentially steer Hugo into guessing the person that he or everyone wants him to guess. So I think it's to, like, take away some variables there and have a little more power. So then I find to be so embarrassing. I mean, great television, but Carson, Monet, and Hugo figures out Chris's clue. Whoa, it's Elton John. There is a Rocket Man. They're like, it's not Neil deGrasse Tyson. They're like, it's for both of them. The colorful coat, that's Elton John. And I'm like, man, they are trying to stretch to make these clues fit when they actually fit so easily with the actual person.
Yeah, and I feel like they should know, like, when it's right, you kind of know it's right, and if you're trying to make it right, then it ain't it. But I also want to say before I forget too, I also loved a little bit earlier when they were picking the teams and whatnot, like the fact that Monet was so against being with Hugo. I just thought that was a really funny moment as well. She's like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, she was not upset that she wasn't being with him, like Gabriel. She was just upset about specifically her being with Hugo.
Well, because Hugo doesn't take it seriously enough.
I know, and he just turned to him and he just has this big smile on his face. And then, like, during the challenge too, he's like, "I can't really find it," and she's just like, they're really ticked off. But I love them playing that up. But yeah, they really talked themselves into that one. So, like,
is Elton John from Utah? Like, having to ask that question, you should know it's a hard no. Like, hard no. But they just didn't seem to catch that. But they run in, Carson and Monet run in and go tell JR. They wake him up. And they're like, yeah, and he has a residency in Vegas. Does he have a residency right now?
I don't know. I don't know who has a residency in Vegas right now, but
I mean, a lot of people tend to, but I don't know that he does. But
I mean, if you've had one though, but like,
I don't even know if he has.
So many people have had one.
But like, so you're right, Sophie. Sophie's saying, like, Elton John and Billy Idol both came out of nowhere for Chris, but they don't even look like Chris. Like, I would go back to friggin' Your Body is a Wonderland. Like, John Mayer was closer than the direction that they're going in right now.
Well, it's really interesting because they're picking like British people, like not even American. Like, they're picking British people. So I don't think they know they're British, but still.
Okay, so he does have a residency at Caesar's Palace. Okay, fine. Didn't they say at one point that Chris looks like Elton? I don't see that. I don't see that at all. I think he looks more like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I think he looks more like John Mayer. I think he looks more like his dad.
I don't even know what Elton looks like. And Elton's usually has like big glasses on anyway. But yeah, even without them, he doesn't look like.
All right, so Chris and Gabriel go and pull the clue. Like, I don't even know if we really need to look at this for very long, but it was pretty basic, this clue. Pretty easy.
Chris doesn't know what it is, but yeah.
I mean, he has to be lying because, like, this clue is very easy. So what I pegged it to be, yeah, you can go. You can say what you thought it was.
No, I just thought it was like a parent or a father to X amount of children and drumline star.
Yep, 100%. I put parent to 10 babies and a drumline star. That's what I put. I think he has 12 babies since. So this maybe since they filmed, 2 more babies came up about.
And you know what? He's probably going to have a couple more, in between now and the time we're done. But it's his a lot. I love how his brother's so like, the person who has baby after baby after baby, like he's very like openly playful with it. So yeah.
Like, but he's had a lot of babies, and like it's funny. Like I was talking about this when I was on set for one of the Star Wars things, and not Star Wars, Star Trek things, and I was talking to the stand-in, and she's like, he has a lot of babies. I'm like, yeah. And while we were like hanging out for a few days, he had another baby, and I'm like, see, Trudy, he has babies, and it was like he had baby number 11 and 12, like in the time that like we were talking.
Do we think that's a midlife crisis? Do we think this is what's going on? Because he was with Mariah, had the 2, and then it was that for so long. And maybe she doesn't want anymore. But like, I believe he's a few years older than me.
I think he's born in 78. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, it's in and around the time. I just don't know what's going on.
Well, I'm thinking that it might be an ego thing. Like to have like your offspring running around, like
it's irresponsible to have that many children in this world, even if you can provide for them. I just don't.
Sophie says Gabriel's confessional after seeing this clue was iconic. I did enjoy. I mean, I enjoy Gabriel a lot. Well, I guess there's nothing more that we need to say about this clue. It's pretty much that's it.
Yeah.
Say two.
Do we think Gabriel thinks that Chris doesn't know? Or
I think that Gabriel thinks that it's a very easy clue and that anybody that sees the clue is going to know exactly who it is, except for Chris.
Yeah. So he made the right choice by picking Chris.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think everybody else would get it in a second, but Chris doesn't seem to know pop culture things, and I don't think that he would know at all. At all. So Chris still has no clue who Gabriel's person is. Even like the drumline star, like that part, like I don't even know if I've seen Drumline, but I know that he was in it. You know what I mean? Anyways. So Monet, JR, and Carson are all in the room. Then Gabriel joins. And that's when they're talking about the colored dream coat. And Gabriel's like, well, Joseph, like, is there any other people that wore a dream coat or a colorful coat? And he's like, well, Joseph from the Bible. And then I was like, when he said Joseph, I swear, I was like, no.
Yeah, we're like, oh my gosh, Gabriel's going to, send him home basically by giving him the information, right?
Yes.
And then no.
Stop it. You're silly. And he's like,
oh my gosh.
It was hilarious. So Hugo does want to see Gabriel's clue. And so he kind of makes a deal a little bit with Chris so Chris says, like, if you choose Carson's clue, then I will give you Gabriel's clue after. Do you think that this is a good deal for Hugo to take?
I don't know. I mean, Hugo is convinced that he's, knows, but at the same time, Hugo, I think, needs all the help that he can get. I don't know. It's hard for me to understand Hugo's motive. I think he's just there for a good time. So do whatever you want, Hugo. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, I can't tell like if he's playing the game or if he's like just like trying to make a mess, or did he get a really big payout to be there, or like
he's just enjoying life. He's just vibing. That's it.
Vibing. So Chris does want help with Gabriel's clue. I can't believe he needs help with this clue from Carson. So he goes to Carson to potentially get some help. Did he show it to her? No, I can't remember.
Yeah, he hands it and says like copy it down. So
right.
So that you don't have to have that out.
So did she say who it was, or did she just leave it like quiet? She said she didn't say anything, right?
No, she didn't say anything. And I think, we cut to something else or whatever, but it seems like she didn't know, or
Well, we get over to the guess off right after. The two players that are going to be guessing are Hugo, or potentially, and Chris. Chris does decide to nominate himself to put him up for a potential guesser. They go into the photo booth. We see Monet chooses Hugo to guess. Carson, Hugo. JR, I don't know if we saw his or not. Gabriel chooses Hugo. And then we find from our dear Jonas brother that Hugo is going to be the guesser with a unanimous vote. Dun, dun, dun.
I thought it was interesting that I'm like, do they normally state like if it was unanimous, if it
I
wasn't.
mean, I don't
I'm
think it
like,
has been unanimous. I think that's the difference.
it definitely doesn't have to be, but it's just, I was like, is that giving away something? Because there's deniability there if you are like, oh, I didn't vote for you. So I didn't love that. I wish they just said like, this is who it is, but don't give, because I'm like, they don't give away like 3 of you voted for this, 4 of you voted for that. So I didn't love the unanimous thing.
Fair.
There's a couple things the Jonas Brothers need to clean up a little bit with, like giving away some things that would be an issue on, like if this was Survivor or something where people like live and die for it and are changing their lives with all this money, kind of a thing. So, or Big Brother or something. Yeah, some slip ups, I think, wording wise.
Well, but I mean, I think that would be like the producer. Oh, maybe the writer's strike has affected. No, that's already filmed. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if it's like how much they add to their own thing, or I mean, and it could have been something that was just handed to them,
right?
Which shouldn't have been, in my opinion. But
all right, we might have to go through a commercial, but let's see what happens.
Hugo, it all comes down to this. You will now have to guess Chris's celebrity relative's identity. You are able to expose.
Oh, sorry. So that's who I thought he was guessing. Okay, so you hadn't seen that?
Well, I don't. Oh God, it's Monday.
Okay,
I don't remember where the commercial break left. I think I did.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it looks as though Hugo instead of choosing Carson, he has chosen Chris to guess.
So my guess is Hugo's going home.
Well, Hugo's going to guess. So is he going to guess Elton John? Don't even make me embarrassed.
He was big on Elton John. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. Because that was his big thing, right?
Elton John or Billy Idol?
I think Elton John.
I think he's going to guess Elton John as well, which is just like mortifying. I'm so embarrassed. Hugo, you actually played a decent game and you're going to go out on Elton John? Whew.
Hey, if you're wrong, you'll be packing your bags tonight. Hugo, who do you think is Chris's claim to fame?
Chris must know that he has no idea, right? What's that face?
Yeah.
That's a face of like, you don't know who my person is.
I think he's confident. Yeah.
Chris, I think your claim to fame.
Oh, he got nervous there, though. Did you see that? He took a big gulp.
Gulp.
Is Elton John.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed.
If I was Chris, I'd be like, Elton John's British.
And not from Utah.
Let's see if you're right.
Hugo, I'm so embarrassed. He's so confident.
How are you so confident off of a coat? A colored coat, you're so confident that it's Elton John. Like, how? Anyway.
And was Elton John a teen idol in the 70s? Like, duh? Like, what's... were you just doing that because you wanted off the show, Hugo? Because, like... it would have been better if you had guessed Dale Earnhardt for Carson,
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I'm at a loss. I really thought Elton John was it.
No, you didn't. You had to not have thought that. Carson, you're smart.
And now we're back at square one with Chris. It's wild.
Unfortunately, Hugo, your guess is incorrect.
Honestly, what's really funny is that I feel like Chris's celebrity relative is probably like the most famous. Like they were like Beatles level of fame at one point. Like they were huge, that whole family. And so the fact that nobody knows who they are.
Well, and here's the thing, Chris's gameplay, I think we think it's better than it is, because he would have been sent home if it was just a different group of people. Because I think just coincidentally enough, these people just don't know who Donny Osmond is. And so for me, it's like, I feel like if it was anyone else, they would know it. He's just really lucked out with these group of people not knowing his person. And I think if it was someone else, he would have been gone twice over already.
Joseph saying, at least the stupid guess is over. Yes, at least they got that ridiculous guess out of the way and make them start over again. I mean, it's just so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Chris, your secret is safe.
for now. Please take your seat.
Hugo, I'm curious. What made you think that Chris was related
We all inquiring minds want to know. Yes, Frankie. He's a cringe.
to Elton John?
There was a clue in the last challenge that said a man wearing colorful coats. I thought Elton John, like how the drip, color coat stuff.
Like that's it. That's what it's based off of. Crazy.
There's some Rocket Man.
Oh yeah, the piano.
I
And
mean, like that literally could be
things of
for
that nature. You know, kind of got
every musician that plays the piano. It could be
Alicia
for me.
Keys. Didn't they already associate that with Alicia Keys though?
I know, but they said like it could be for both because there's also the sheet music.
this idea going in my head.
Wow, you really went for it.
Hugo, because you missed the mark, we now have to.
Dumb.
They could
Sorry.
literally tell these people that like, okay, the last name starts with Oz, and they would think it's like Osborne. They'd be like Ozzy Osbourne. That's it. That's who he's related to. It is so wild to me that they couldn't get it.
Oh man,
Reveal your claim to fame.
Chris
Let's
might
take a look
just
at the
win for the fact that like these people just don't know who he is.
So we're going with Jimmy Carter.
Oh
Right?
yeah, Jimmy Carter. I mean, I don't know what he looks like. Maybe I'll recognize him when I see him, but
Yeah, I have a image in my head. So
oh yeah, I knew what he looks like. Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
That's so dope.
Thank you so much.
they're like,
He does look like him a little bit, actually. Do you see it?
Hugo, tell us who you are and how you're related to President Jimmy Carter.
My name is Hugo Wenzel. My grandfather
grandfather. Yeah.
is Jimmy Carter. He was the 39th president of the United States. My mom is Amy Carter, his only daughter.
Oh wow.
That's cool. I can't imagine being in that kind of legacy.
She grew up in the White House. He's an amazing grandpa, honestly. I love him so much. I call him Papa. He led America.
Oh, look at Hugo. What a little cutie.
But like, there's like the mom had Hugo late then because Jimmy is 98 years old.
But like maybe Jimmy had the mom late?
She grew up in the White House though.
Oh, when was he in the White House?
It's been a hot minute. Jimmy Carter, 77 to 81 before I was born. It's over 40 years ago.
So yeah, that's like he's probably what 24. That checks.
I don't know how old he is.
Like his mom's probably like my age, maybe a few years older.
And my family very well. I stand for everything he stands for. He believes in equality for everyone, regardless of like race, class, gender, anything. He's just
I feel like his mom's probably in her, like, if she grew up in the White House, 77 to 81, she would have to be in her 50s.
Let's see, Amy Carter. She's 55.
Yeah.
Oh, she almost has the same birthday as you. She's born October 19th.
Oh, Libra like me.
She's a Libra like you.
So there is larger age gaps between them. I was thinking because he's 98, she's 55, and he's, I don't know, is 20, 24, I don't know.
Let's see, Hugo James Wenzel. How old are you? He's 24. There you go. Jimmy Carter was kind of a babe when he was like in the White House.
I can only picture Jimmy Carter being old, so I don't have an image of like.
Oh, I looked him up.
Jimmy Carter 1950s is what I need to look up, but
He's cute back then. Cutie pie.
try to be like him one day. I also want to say that he's recently been put into hospice.
Oh my god.
Because he has been very sick.
Oh no! I mean, he's quite old.
It's really sad. I love you so much, Papa. You are amazing, and I will do everything I can to keep your legacy alive. Lead with
Is he gonna run for president?
I don't think so.
love. That's all I gotta say.
Very cool.
Well, Hugo,
Why are they crying? Hospice?
Hospice.
I guess if you're patriarchal or patriotic.
your grandfather is an incredible man, and best of luck to you. Thank you so much.
All right, Michelle, keep in touch.
See, everybody's like,
Oh my god, I'm looking up a photo of him now, and he like looks really rough shape. Did he fall or something? 14 stitches in a black eye
oh no.
when that happened, but yeah, 98. Wow.
Hugo.
Thanks.
I need to come hug you.
Yeah, I'll miss you, gang. I'll miss you, bro. I feel sad because I really love those people in that
You should have just got rid of Carson.
house so much, like genuinely, and I'll miss him a lot. He's my best friend. That's my best friend, bro. I really have no regrets. Shout out this house. I love everyone.
Oh, I guess that's why he's crying. I didn't know that they're such good friends. Is JR have like a full-on personality that we just have not seen on the show?
Has to be. Has to be.
Also, I really thought that was Elton John's nephew. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a sad moment, but we do have one thing to celebrate.
What episode are we on? We're on episode 7, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So,
I'm just thinking,
six-
so like
six-
3 more left?
We are looking at the top 5. Give yourselves
Woo-hoo!
a round of applause. You deserve it.
3 more episodes left.
I'm
One of you
guessing.
standing here will walk away with $100,000.
That would be like 8.
I mean, I feel like this game would be so easy to play for $100,000. Like, we could probably. Do you want to host like an online one? But like, we would just be like, everybody would get a celebrity, and they just have to know facts about them, or whatever. Like, that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, maybe you can figure out a way to do that. I guess you get, because you wouldn't base it off of looks. You would just have to base it off of like the clues that are given in a social kind of a setting. Yeah.
It's kind of like a murder mystery party, but like different.
$1.
So keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open, and you might just keep your claim to fame.
Good night, everyone.
Wow.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Okay, he's probably gonna come in and be like, I don't know anything. I suck. I can't believe that they didn't guess my person. These guy people are idiots, but I'm almost an idiot too because
You pack of bunkers. Elton John.
okay, he's not even. God, Chris.
Really? You're not even close. And it's 2 times. But, I mean, I kind of like it.
How do you like his accent? Would you cast him?
I'd cast him with a voice coach. Yeah. It's not terrible. I've heard worse, and there's a lot of people who decline it because they can't do it at all. But yeah, that's fun. There was 10 episodes in season 1. I just looked it up, so you're probably right. They'll probably go like 5 to 4 next episode, and then I guess maybe 4 to 3, and then have the final 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Elton John. That was way off.
Hellman's.
Well, that was a fun time.
Yeah, I think Chris has it locked in for the final 3 because I don't know how much more information they can give that would make it more obvious. I just don't think they know anything about Donny Osmond.
Yes, Kathy, I think Chris actually knows who Elton John is.
Agreed.
Or the producers are like, hey, can you go and pretend like you're Elton John? Like, who's that?
I think both. I think they said, can you pretend you're Elton John? Here's the stuff. But also, I think I would think he probably knows who Elton John is. I mean, I feel like they all kind of know who Elton John is, just probably like forgot that he's British.
Chris is only going to the finals because the cast is so dumb. The cast is dumb. I mean, we thought they started off real strong, I thought, and then all of a sudden.
But I agree with that. I said if you look at it, I think his game style would have gotten him kicked out twice over again. It's just he's lucked out that they just don't know his person. So I agree with that.
It's definitely he's lucked out big time. So, anything else about this episode? Or I didn't see the preview for the next episode to come. Have you seen that?
No, I have not seen a preview. But
Adrian here is saying that next week shows once again the house is against Chris, and Chris and Gabriel are butting heads next episode. Probably because Chris gave Carson information, maybe.
That comes about.
But I'd be like, if that wasn't the case, it'd be weird for Gabriel to turn on Chris, because then he could just give his information out. But if it was already given out and Gabriel's aware of that, then I can see that happening.
Yeah, Chris is definitely a lock in the finals, and I think Gabriel and Monet are final 3.
Yeah.
It's either Monet or Carson.
Well, no one knows who Monet's person is. So it's what they were saying about Chris is actually true about Monet. It's like Monet would have to go out on a wrong guess.
Chris's cockiness is starting to piss off the house. I mean,
they've come for him twice now, so it's like
they keep on coming for him and failing. I'd be cocky. I'd be like, "You guys are losers. Sorry, like you're gonna come for me. Get it right or go home." I'd be equally as cocky because I'd be pissed off. They're trying to get me out. Like, so F off.
They've tried to get you off a couple times. So yeah, for sure, conspiring against you. The whole house conspiring against you. Like.
And they're like,
oh, you have a right to throw it in their face when they get it wrong. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Do you have anything to share about your celebrity relative?
Well, no one's even close. I'll just give stuff away. So it's a he. And he, I don't know what we've said. He leads people.
Yeah, we said that one.
Okay, then he's. And it's cousin, occupation, pro athlete, has won a Grammy.
Say which one is the lie, maybe.
Grammy's the lie.
Grammy is the lie. So start asking some questions if you want to find out.
And I'll say it's not baseball. It's not soccer. That's all I'll say.
And we live in Canada. Remember that. Remember that. Well, Jonathan, what do you have going on that you can maybe share with the peoples?
Literally nothing. So I had an NDA that I signed last time, and now this time I just read a script on the weekend that expired in 24 hours because I can't talk about that either. So yeah.
I think it's hilarious when scripts like self-destruct. Like it's so dramatic.
Exactly. You should wait until you're on it. Like if you behind the scenes, like when a show has won an Emmy after like season 1, let's say, or several, they become the egos on these shows. No, they just become like everything's top secret. They'll like hidden names, hidden everything. Like
I remember, I can't remember which shows it was for. It was probably for like the first Star Trek maybe or something, where like I had to like get my reader to like sign an NDA with like the casting director, and like I'm just like, for my goddamn reader, like to go to the printer to print my side, like it was just so annoying. I'm like, nobody cares about like this poorly written script. Like, anyways.
Yeah, it's just so funny because I'm like, you didn't hide anything in season 1, so why all of a sudden because you won Emmys you think that like it needs to be all hidden? Like it doesn't, because nobody cares that much. It's not like, I could understand for the bigger, like maybe a big huge Marvel movie or somewhere where your audience is those
or
people
like
who
something
like
that has a big twist,
online.
maybe a big twist.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So like something like really big, I get it. I absolutely get it. But it's just it's the sense of what's the word I'm looking for? But it's made up. That sense of like, how big they are or whatever is made up. And it's just so funny. It's so funny. But anyway, needless to say, I can't talk about anything that I'm working on right now.
Boo, boo, boo. Well, thank you, Jonathan, for being here. I'm probably going to pop over and hang out with Sarah from Nerdtainment as we watch the episode of Big Brother, The Eviction. We'll see what has happened. Oh, you're not up to date. Are you up to date?
I'm up to date. Oh,
I've
seen those clips online. Yeah, I don't watch the live feeds, but I've seen the clips. I've seen all the clips. Yes.
So we will be seeing, I'll either jump into her chat or maybe I'll jump online with her, depending. And then I'm going to go live with Michelle and Matthew at 11 p.m. Eastern to watch or to recap the first episode of the Challenge USA 2.
Wow, oh my gosh. Everyone follow Chantele. It's a whole night of Chantele.
Yes, it's a whole night of me. I'm back, babies. And make sure you do that by subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and letting us know. I don't know. Who do you want to win? What are your final 3? What do you think is going to happen? No real outright spoilers, but like, what do you think? Give us your thoughts. and we'll continue this conversation in the comment box below. Thank you, Kathy, for keeping our chat under control. You are the best. And I guess we'll see everybody next week. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Ciao.